I'm joined now by Einar Tangen. He's a political and economic affairs commentator based in Beijing. And Einar, lots of developments today. Let's begin with these joint exercises. They're over. What do they accomplish?
Well, it's a very strong signal that China is prepared. Remember, this was not something that was planned 6-8 months in advance. This was much more of a snap drill. It seems to have concluded successfully, but it sends a very, as I said, strong signal that China is prepared in the event that they feel that the U.S. is encouraging Taiwan to be a separatist nation.
Einar, speaking of signals, there's the military signal. There's also the white paper that came out. It's issued. Your takeaways from that?
Well, it still stresses that peaceful reunification is the desire, but it puts in very black and white terms exactly what the minister and the ambassador said. There is no, negotiation over Taiwan. It is part of China, culturally, historically, and legally. And any attempt to try to undermine that will mean a swift response, military or otherwise. That's reading between the lines. They have not. The white paper is being touted as China refuses to rule out military force. But the fact is, the 3 communiques that were signed that were the basis of the relationship, in that, China said peaceful reunification was its goal. This, from the Chinese perspective, is an internal matter. It is not something open to the international question. They are now fed up with this idea that the U.S. continues to try to salami slice the issue, prepare Taiwan for a war that, obviously they will not be willing to directly participate in, as AKA a kind of Ukraine situation.
Einar, so we talked about the military aspect, the white paper. You touched on the Deputy Foreign Minister talking to Liu Xin, and of course Qin Gang also coming out with some strong, forceful statements. But one of the things that I think that people don't think about is the China Vice Foreign Minister talking about how the U.S. says one thing, but then they say something entirely different or act in a different fashion. And I don't think that gets a lot of press here in the West. Can you kind of delve into that a little bit?
Well, it's hypocrisy. I mean, the U.S. signed these agreements. It's a crystal white, black and white. There is one China. It was the U.S. who facilitated the removal of Taiwan from the United Nations, in essence, delisting it as a country. I don't know how clear you can be about what the role of Taiwan was seen at that time. Now, right now you have a lot of people and you have legislation going through Congress where they are, in essence, going to repudiate that. From the Chinese perspective, they're tired of the hypocrisy that continues to be it, where you say one thing or another, and also these false equivocations that are being set up, trying to make it seem that there's only a black and white choice. That has never been the situation. You see that in the African tour of Blinken, where they have rejected his what they see as bullying by certain powers, etc. And this is not the norm for the world, especially as you go into multipolarity, that the U.S. can arbitrarily revoke not only this particular treaty, but remember, they did the same thing in Kyoto, the Iran nuclear deal, the Paris Climate Accord, and in addition to that, many treaties unratified that were in fact negotiated, everything from UNCLOS to the ICC. So at this point, the Chinese people do not see the U.S. as sincere. And that is serious because it destroys this kind of trust relationship that is necessary, not only in personal dealings, business dealings, but essential in diplomatic dealings. If you make an agreement with somebody and you don't follow it, you are the outlier. You are the rogue state. You are the one who is acting arbitrarily. And right now, that appears to be the U.S.
Einar Tangen in Beijing for us. Thanks for your analysis.